Kia ora students, if you're watching this, then you are here to find out how to write an explanation. If you need something else, then go away and find the correct video. Okay, so remember the argument of this whole essay is about dulce et decorum est, communicating the horrors of war. Our first point is about the setting, painting the picture for the reader. And the example that we had was about those flares lighting up the sky. So here's the explanation that I've written for that, and remember how I said that the explanation was going to explain what the actual quote means. This description of the soldiers silhouetted against a grim backdrop by the flares opens the reader's eyes to the grimness of the setting. It's really important that you notice here that I actually explain here what is happening, so that if someone has never read this poem before, it doesn't matter that they don't understand the quote because I've explained it. So that's here, number one, this is what it does. It explains to the reader what's actually happening during this moment more clearly in your own language. Okay, so silhouetted, that's a fancy way of saying kind of like a shadow. Grim is like scary and dark. Backdrop, the things behind them, and the flares, remember, are the things that light up the sky. The second part that is really important in an explanation is that you have to explain how the example proves the point, and that's what I do here. Opens the reader's eyes to the grimness of the setting. That's slack writing on my part. I've put the word grim twice, which is hardly very interesting, but I wrote this very quickly for you. Okay, so it does two really important things. Rewords what Wilfred Owen has already said and puts it more simply, because remember we assume that our reader knows nothing. And the second thing it does is it explains how the example proved the point. The point was that the setting paints a picture. My example is an example of the picture being painted, and the explanation reminds the reader, hey, this was my point. I'm opening the reader's eyes to the grimness of the setting. Well, I'm not. Wilfred Owen was. Okay, that's it. That's your explanation. What you need to do is when you're writing your own explanation, you need to make sure that it does these two things. You need to reword the quote that you've used and explain what it means, and then you need to explain how it actually proves the point that you have made. Rightio, that's it. Remember, pause, rewind, fast forward, write down notes and questions. You now need to write your own explanation before all of this falls out of your huge, ginormous brain, and then you need to go on to look at the link tutorial.